Okay, hey gang. Good morning, you guys. Welcome back. Another episode of Zero Carb Journal. I'm Matt, as always, and how are you guys? Hope you guys are doing great. Here we are on episode 154 of Zero Carb Journal. How are you? Did you have a good week, everybody? Hope you guys did. I've had a pretty good week. It's been a just another Groundhog Day or another Groundhog Week, as it were. So I don't have a whole bunch of exciting stuff to share. But yeah, how are you guys? Welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are having a nice morning, enjoying some Sunday morning vibes. Well, let's see. I just woke up. I have no idea what to say, as usual, and but I just thought I'd get started and get this thing out of the way while I'm fresh. So let's see. So this week for me, let me look back and think about what happened. It's so funny because nothing happened. I told you guys last week I'm, really kind of in a holding pattern here. And I'll be honest, I've been having a little bit of a tough week, but or maybe I'm just having a tough day or weekend, but for no reason. I'm doing great. Just kind of what I spoke about last week about being, just kind of waiting, I'm, I'm trying really hard to just stay home, not spend any money, get myself hopefully in a better financial situation and hopefully to start to be able to do some things in the near future, but to get there I'm really sort of in a I'm having to really kind of buckle down and be disciplined right now. So I've been a little just sort of I've been my days are just sort of like the same thing day in and day out. So I'm going through a bit of a tough time. My renters, all the COVID stuff has meant I haven't been receiving rent for quite a few months now, and it's starting to get difficult. So that's been really kind of making me really tuck the reins in, and so I haven't been going to town or breaking out of my I don't want to go buy gas. So I'm just sort of laying low here. It's not as bad as it sounds. They've taken steps. The rent is coming. I'm sure of that. It's just I've got to cover it for this whole winter apparently, and that's proving to be difficult when you don't have a job. I'm getting to the point where I've been like, oh god, these weeks are just sort of dragging on, and now I'm like, yeah, you really gotta suck it up here, Matt. But that's okay. I'm doing generally great. I'm just a little frustrated right now because I told you guys I didn't want to be here this winter, and here we are. We're gonna go into the depths of it here, and I'm just like, I'm gonna make it. It's gonna be fine. I'd really like to just go kind of drive around in my van a little bit and go see the mountains, but it's not time for me to do that. So I'm just kind of in a holding pattern, but I have been staying really positive. It's just the weekends. I told you guys the other day or the last time we did this that these long weekends are killing me, and so I'm really feeling it this weekend. Like, another day tomorrow. We've got a holiday here, so Monday is a day off, and my I just don't have much to do. I do. I'm not bored, actually. That's funny. I have plenty to do. I guess what it is, I'd like to be doing other stuff, and that's not in the cards for me right now. So no big deal. But this is my journal, so I always try to be honest and open with you guys, and that's it. I haven't been having a great week. Nothing bad, nothing wrong. Everything's actually great, to be honest. But I'm feeling a little bit frustrated right now. I'm just kind of like, oh, I'd sure love to be doing something else. But all that said, you guys, I am moving towards those goals, actually. And And it's probably going to change really quickly. Like I said, as soon as as soon as that rent catches up with me, I'll be in the other situation. I've made it this far without it, so then I'm going to, get way ahead when that does happen. And that's probably going to trigger me getting to do some traveling and stuff. So it's all good. I don't mean to be a complainer. It's just my journal. So like I said, I'll try and be open and honest with you guys. But yeah, so I've been having a little bit of a tough week, just kind of buckling down and staying home. We've also been, it's been unbelievably wet here, just inches and inches and inches of rain. And so that's always, it's not the rain. I don't mind the rain at all. I actually really like it, but it's been, this is the time of year when problems arise, on properties, and I've been doing fine, managing it. Everything's great, but it's just sort of that time of year where I wake up every day and look and pump out the basement and, find all the leaks and go dig some drainage. And so, yeah, just sort of puttering around here trying to keep up with winter devastation, as it were. And yeah, I'm doing fine. Actually, just more than anything, I just am I guess I just really have the bug right now. I've been talking about trying to leave and do some traveling and stuff for a long time, and now that it's totally off the table for me and I absolutely can't do anything like that for a little while, it's just kind of like I'm just feeling that. Yeah, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. It's not really, I guess I'm a little bit frustrated. But all that said, I am doing great. I feel pretty good. And there's nothing really wrong, and I'm gonna be just fine. So yeah, so I'm just being honest with you guys. And actually, it probably does tie into physical stuff, because I've been having a rough week physically, with my bathroom visits and stuff. I guess, I'll talk about that in detail, so I'll do it again. It's kind of gross, I apologize. But yeah, let's talk about zero carb stuff. So from a zero carb perspective, I have been keeping it super simple, as always. I've been eating those terrible burger patties that I bought, that I talked about last week, from Costco. And as it turns out, they're 75-25. I did look into that, so they're quite a bit fatter than what I usually eat. They're horrid. They are just awful. I've been squishing them really flat and frying them like bacon, and they don't, I can get through it. I don't necessarily enjoy it, but I can eat it. But they have a ton of little, there's white bits all through it that don't digest, and I know that because I see it. And I'll pull it out of my mouth when I'm chewing and all that. So it's like they just ground up all the worst parts of, not even the meat, mostly, probably just the fat and the connective tissue and stuff. And so there's a ton of connective tissue in there, and as I've learned, that can be really hard on me, on my system, and this week has been kind of tough. I haven't been eating anything unusual, just those patties, a little bit of ribeye, and some eggs. But I have had my excess bile symptoms all week. I haven't had any sick nights. It's not bad like that, but I've just been having to use the toilet about every couple hours, and it's just straight yellow liquid. Sorry for the gross description, but almost clear, like looks like water, just yellow water. And so I think I'm really dehydrated. I've been trying to drink a lot of water, but I've been losing it as fast as I drink it, and that's been going on all week, which is really unusual. That I haven't really experienced that ever in these last 4 years, and so I'm pretty sure it's just those terrible burger patties. But they are what I have right now, and I'm probably just going to work through them. I do, for the most part, feel okay. I just, when it's that liquid, of course, it comes with some urgency. So it's really it's frustrating. I'm really sort of, I feel fine. I don't feel sick. It doesn't hurt, none of that. But in some ways, it's sort of taking me back, because it's funny. All of my life, zero carb has really shown me a big component of sort of the nature of what's wrong with my guts is something to do with that bile production or absorption or whatever. And even when I was young man and never had heard of zero carb, this was sort of the nature of my issue. Was I would just fill up with water basically and have to, and it would always, of course back then I was eating all sorts of other stuff, so it would never kind of get as clear as it does now, but it was always the same thing. It would just start going yellower and yellower and clearer as, as whatever situation was going on in my stomach progressed. And I really have talked about it quite a bit, but I do think that I either overproduce bile or don't absorb it, and it just fills up my digestive system and needs to be evacuated in a hurry. And so this isn't anything different that I'm experiencing. This is sort of one of the things I'm so thankful for zero carb for, is it's allowed me to really pin down what this is. I used to just be like, I'm sick, diarrhea, whatever. But now I really notice when it's this bile thing that's happening, and it's very different than when I used to lose consciousness and bleed and all of those things. That was a really different situation. I mean, I'm sure they're all tied together, but that never comes with just this bile stuff. It comes with something more. Once the I think the colon or the intestine is really inflamed, then I start to get a lot more serious symptoms. So this isn't anything I'm terribly concerned about. I do identify it as being, like I've always talked about, the bits that are difficult for me to digest really cause this. I think it sits in my stomach, and I think I just make acid, stomach bile, and I think it just is a vicious cycle. And that seems to be what happens when I do have my sick nights. I overtax my digestive system with things that it can't digest. So with that said, I have been having a bit of a rough week with that, and I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm going to have to go to town at some point in the next few weeks, probably before the month is out. So at some point here, I'll go find some alternative beef and see if I can't remedy that situation. But I do have a freezer full of this stuff, and I'm not dying, so I'll probably just keep eating it and trying to get better about. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyways, that's been my week. It's been hasn't been my best week. I'm sorry for the bummer, you guys. Hasn't been my best week. Hasn't been that bad. I've just been sort of stuck in a loop, as it were, and so sometimes that's a little frustrating. But overall, I'm doing really good. I am still super. A little whistle there, that's kind of fun. I am super optimistic for the future, despite my sort of downer week. I'm really, like I said, really looking forward to breaking out of here sometime soon, and that's going to change all of this stuff, and I do think that's going to happen. I do know that, like I said, my rent stuff is coming, and I'm making a lot of changes that are going to get me there, and this, part of this buckling down right now and being frustrated that I'm not doing anything, that's all part of me working towards my goals. So it's all good, to be honest, and that's true. I really do feel that way, and I am really positive, and I am really optimistic, and this little hitch in my attitude is just that. And I recognize that I've been through this long enough that you get bummed sometimes, you get frustrated, and that's just life. So no big deal. I am doing great. And actually, on that note, let me share something great with you guys that I'm so excited about, and I think it's going to change, this for all of us as well. I got accepted to the Starlink beta, which is, if you don't know, that's Elon Musk's SpaceX satellite internet program. So I've got my equipment coming on Monday, and I am going to enter the modern world of internet. I'm going to get off of this cell phone internet I'm using right now and get off of my DSL that I use for daily stuff, which is so unbelievably slow. I mean, the DSL I'm on now, it maxes out at 7 up, and usually I get 7 down, and usually I get 0.3 up not even one. And I'm not going to say the BPS because I never get it right if it's M or K, but you guys know which one it is if you even know what those numbers mean. So I am thrilled, you guys. I have been waiting. I mean, I've been in this house for 20 years now with this DSL internet service, and I have been. I mean, I have looked into it so many times. Other options for internet, and there just hasn't been anything available. I've called. I've thought about bringing cable down the driveway, but it's not available even to do that. Even if I wanted to spend the thousands of dollars it would take to bring it down the driveway. So I am so excited, you guys. So starting Monday, I guess tomorrow afternoon, whenever I get this thing, I am hopefully going to have fast internet, and hopefully from here on out I'll be able to stream to you guys at full bandwidth. So even now I'm running it at half the minimum recommended bandwidth that YouTube recommends, because I'm streaming on this cell phone modem that I only use for streaming, and it's also going to save me a huge amount of money. Right now I'm paying for 2 internet services. I pay like $100 a month for my normal one, and then I pay another $100 a month just to do this for you guys. And I, because I have to pay by the data to use the cell phone one, and it's expensive, and I usually use it up every month and have to buy a little more. So sorry to talk about all the money stuff. I guess it's what's going on, but I'm thrilled. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm going to get to cancel 2 internet services, and my internet's going to be, exponentially faster. The cell phone one that I'm using now is considered my fast one, and it's about the same as my slow one on the down, about 7 down. But the thing is it can go up at almost the same rate, and so I'm able to stream, which I can't do on my DSL connection. But the Starlink, you guys, the Starlink is going to be like 100 down and 30 up or something like that. So I am just thrilled. This is it's probably one of the biggest upgrades to this property that's happened since I've been here. So I'm so excited to have that coming my way, and yeah, that's gonna be some good stuff for me that I've got to look forward to. So super thankful for that, and yeah, that's very, very exciting if you ask me. So I got another thing I'm excited about too, and it's Let's Get Checked, and this is super cool, you guys. I'm going to make a new video this week. As a matter of fact, I might do it right when I get done with this, so if I'm wearing the same clothes, don't pick on me. But I'm super excited. They got a new test. I have to go over here and click to see what exactly all is in it. But so it's called the micronutrient test. And it's one test that does a ton of stuff that is crucial, I think, for us zero carbers. And I'm really excited, honestly, for myself. This isn't a sales pitch. This is actually just the real deal, which is usually what I'm saying anyways with you guys. I would never give you guys a sales pitch. This is just a sales pitch. But I'm super excited about it because let me tell you, everything in the micronutrient test is going to test for electrolytes, which is really cool. So magnesium, copper, selenium, and zinc. So I'm super excited about that because, as you guys know, one of the big topics I've been talking about this last few weeks has been cramping and magnesium and things like that. And so really looking forward to seeing what those numbers look like. And then in the same test, it tests for vitamin D, vitamin B12, and vitamin E. And I've been telling you guys I was going to retest my D in the winter, and I'm actually really curious about vitamin E. I don't believe I've ever tested for that one before. I think the other nutrient test I did was just vitamin D and the vitamin B12. My vitamin B12 was great last time, but I don't believe I've tested for the vitamin E. And so I'm thrilled to take this test. So all of those things again: magnesium, copper, selenium, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin B12, and vitamin E, all in one test. So that's called the micronutrient test, and it's on letsgetchecked.com. I'm going to have a special link for it when I make the video here. But as always, you can use my code 0carb to get 20% off. And I am really looking forward to taking that test. So I'm going to go ahead and do the test myself tomorrow. I'll probably make a video today and just talk about the test, and then we'll do a follow-up and we'll look at my results in a week or two when I get those back. But yeah, I'm really excited about that one because you guys know that I've been talking about electrolytes. I'm really curious about the magnesium number. I am curious about the copper and selenium and zinc as well because as we've talked about in the past, those things are really related to pasture health. And so I feel like while I was eating my homegrown beef, those numbers were probably pretty well balanced, although I'm just speculating. I really don't know. Maybe my pasture is low on selenium or copper or things like that. So I'm not sure. A lot of people supplement those things in salt licks to their herds. I did in the past do some of that, but the cows that I had these last few years, they really didn't respond well to those salt licks. I never saw them use them. I'm sure that isn't the case, but the salt licks kind of didn't go anywhere. So yeah, I'm curious about all of this. And also I was buying copper-free salt for the most part because sheep can't handle copper. And so I've often wondered, now that I'm 4 years in to eating this way and eating mostly the same thing, switching from my pasture to store-bought. And when I do store-bought, it's the cheap stuff, typically. And so I've been curious, how are those levels doing? And so I'm really excited. Zinc I know is really important, selenium as well. Copper, I know we just don't want to have too much. I'm not sure about the minimum. But I'll do some research. I'll look into it. And I'm excited to kind of dig a little deeper and get to the bottom of it. So that's a new Let's Get Checked test called the micronutrient test. And you can find that on their website at letsgetchecked.com, or you can use my link in the description below, trylgc.com. And again, if you're interested in trying that out, you can use my code 0carb, and that helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for all your support there. So there's that. What else? What else is going on? I don't know. It looks like dawn's breaking out there. That's kind of nice. Today's Sunday here, and we have a holiday tomorrow, so I've got 2 more days. I'm going to try to, we've been just absolutely in a deluge, and now we're kind of drying out a bit. So I'm going to try to, I think, maybe go for a bike ride or something like that if it's not too awful out there, and just get outside and clear my mind. I think that's part of my frustration this week, too, is I just was really cooped up and feeling it. So I'm looking forward to a little better weather this week. We're supposed to dry out and then get cold in the week, and I'm sort of just ready for it to be, changing the seasons, and it's going to. We're going to be coming into February here, and as things start to change here, it's going to start feeling more and more like spring, as we talked about a few weeks ago. I've been starting to get my seed catalogs and stuff. Of course, I don't get too excited about them anymore, but they are just sort of a rite of spring, so I like to page through them. I have thought about getting some more fruit trees just to keep building out the property, but now's not the time to be investing in those kinds of things. But I am still interested in planting things and developing the property. I did go look at my old garden yesterday, and I was surprised to find that after 4 years of abandonment, actually I think longer, because I think I changed locations prior to becoming Zero Carb with my garden. I think I didn't garden in that spot. It might be like 5 or 6 years, but it's funny, I had adopted all those permaculture ways and had tried to establish these recurring systems that would produce food without me. And man, my old garden is incredible. It's covered in edible chickweed. That's the ground cover now, because I did plant a ton of it, and it has taken over and nothing else grows. So it just covers. I have all my old mounds that I used to do my sloped towards the sun gardening style, and it's all just covered in edible chickweed. And then there's a bunch of like mustard and kale. There's all kinds of, not food for me, but plant food down there. And even though I don't eat that stuff anymore, it's nice to look at, and it felt really good. Hey, Jackie Jam, nice to see you. Good morning, friend. Thanks for being here. You're probably going to have a beautiful sunrise this morning, Jackie, over the mountains. It's clear over here, so hopefully it is over there too. I think you're going to have a really nice day today. So I've just been puttering around the property and trying to keep things from flooding. I've been pumping the basement and all that stuff, but I'm really happy to be getting into a little drier weather here, and yeah. So I've got some good things going on, despite how I started and told you guys I was having a little frustrating week. I'm really, really, really excited about spring coming on here. I'm super excited about my internet. That's going to be so cool to be able to, like, I've been downloading things, whatever they might be, video games, for instance. It's funny, isn't it? Yes, I've been bored. And they would take literally days on the internet I have now, and I think they're going to take minutes when I get this new internet. So I'm so excited about that, and more importantly than that, I'm going to be able to upload, so I'll be able to send videos up in no time. I've been reducing the bandwidth not only of these streams, but I also reduce the bandwidth of my videos, because they also would take often like a whole day to upload. And so I'm going to be able to put up higher quality, bit rate and better image quality. I'm really excited about that. I just feel like I'm moving into a new era. So that's exciting. So I am super optimistic about what's coming. And like I said, I complained a little bit earlier about just financial and basic stuff, but that's all going to change pretty quick here. So I'm just sort of hanging on is all it is. I'm just, making it through this winter. And I can't wait for what's next, you guys. I have got, we talked about goals, and I don't think I ever told you guys what goals I made, and I'm not going to tell you about my big goal. I'm just going to tell you that I have a new, really exciting goal, and it's a big one. It's a major change in my life. And I'm not going to tell you because I'm not sure if I'm going to get there, but I'm going to work towards it, and you'll start to become aware of it pretty soon if it does look like it's going to happen. But I'm really excited. I'm really focused. I am determined. I have been doing a ton of research, and I'm pretty excited about what potentially could. It's not something I can just do. I need to have some other things come together. Jackie says you're such a tease. Big goal but not telling. I have to. The reason, Jackie, is because I don't want to fail, and fail in front of all you guys. And this isn't a goal that. I mean, I'm confident I can get there, but it's gonna take some luck and some hard work, because it's gonna require being in a significantly different financial position, to be honest. That's the number one part of it. And so I'm making some big changes to try and get there, and there's going to be a time factor as well. So I just got to buckle down and get there. But I'm excited to have a direction. It's been sort of a while, I've been sort of vaguely like, yeah, I want to do something, travel, find whatever, and I'm starting to it's travel related. I just sort of have sort of settled on, I actually have multiple travel related sort of wishes. I'd like to, last year I canceled my trip to El Salvador, my surf trip to El Salvador, with my oldest, dearest friend, whose name is also Matt. And, we canceled because of COVID. It was supposed to be in March. He's going in for some surgery here in a couple weeks or in a week, and things just keep happening that have not allowed us to sort of reschedule that. So that one's definitely going to get rescheduled, and so I am going to start doing some traveling, but I've sort of set a little bit longer term goal on something sort of along those lines, traveling and exploring and seeing what's next for me. And it's going to take some work and some luck, so you guys will know about it as I get closer to it being reality. But right now it's just sort of a little infant kernel in my brain. I'm pretty sure at this point that it is my goal, and I'm focusing on it, but it's a long ways from fruition, and it's a long ways from even me being confident that, at this point I'm not even 50-50 that I'll get there. I don't think it's that likely. It's a pretty lofty goal. So anyways, but I'm real excited about it, and it's exciting to have something to work towards, and yeah. So there's that. And so speaking of that trip to El Salvador as well, I am looking forward to putting that back on the schedule, and so I do hope that in a few weeks here I'll be telling you that that I've got a trip planned sometime in the near future. We'll see how that pans out, but But yeah, so that's all what I'm dealing with, I guess, or what I'm going through, what my week has been like and my zero carb stuff. I don't have a whole lot else to share. As I told you guys before, it's been a little bit of a frustrating week with my guts and a little bit of frustrating with my brain. Often those things are strongly correlated, so I'm pretty sure there's some aspect of that going on as well. You know, as soon as I have a week's worth of diarrhea, then usually I get a week's worth of depression. The D's tend to come together in a package for me, and it seems like this week is no different. So, but overall, I'm doing great. And feeling really good. So Jackie says, sounds good. Life is exceptional these days and excited for spring here too. And it's so good to have goals. Yeah, Jackie, it really is. I mean, it makes all the difference. You can see it. Look at me. I know you didn't see the first minute or two, but I started this episode a little bit down. And now, just talking about goals, I'm actually getting like charged up. I mean, my goal is really exciting, you guys. I think I've found something that I'm really hopeful for, and it's been a long time since I felt that way. Like, oh, I really want to do that. Yeah, like usually I've just been kind of like, going through the motions. Like, we've talked about it before how surfing used to be a huge part of my life, and surfing now is really important to me. But sometimes when I feel like going on a surf trip, or like getting in my van and loading it all up and I'm like, you're just kind of going through the motions. So I am really excited to have something exciting me, as it were. So yeah, I'm super, super, super looking forward to working towards this and having something to be excited about and making some measurable steps. I did read an awesome thing. I'm going to read it to you guys. Let's see. So have you guys heard about the SMART system for goals? I don't know if I'd ever heard it before. It's an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So I thought that was a really cool way of structuring your goals so that they are all of those things. They're specific to what I'd like to do. They're measurable in terms of you can identify your progress. They are attainable. They're not something pie in the sky. They're relevant to the whole rest of your goals and your your progression. And they're time-based so that you can have some sort of, measurable marks. So yeah, so feeling really good about that, and I am super optimistic and looking forward to it. So, and Jackie says she does know SMART, but she's way ahead of me. Sorry, Jackie, I can't read and talk at the same time. and Jackie says you look so healthy, happy, and me too. And Jackie says I'm doing awesome. Jackie, I'm so happy to hear that. I always think of our talk about your changeover from bacon and how that continued to kick you into high gear here and continue your progress. So isn't it wonderful that as the farther we go down this zero carb road, just sort of the healthiest, the healthier and healthier we get. I mean, despite what I just talked about my bile issues or whatever, I consider that, by the way, to be like no big deal. Does it bother me? Yes. Do I think maybe it's giving me a little depression or whatever? Yeah, probably a little bit, because I know those things are related, and I know it's usually, some inflammation comes with that. But in this case, like I said, I do think it's more bile specific. I think it's just kind of chemistry. I don't feel like there's much inflammation going on. But anyways, despite that, I'm feeling, wait, I forget what I was I'm feeling great. And Jackie says I just typed what you said, so I can put it on my whiteboard. Okay, cool. And she's making chicken stock this morning, and it smells like Thanksgiving. Oh, that sounds delightful. I should make some chicken stock. I have not once, I don't think, in the 4 years that I've been zero carb, I don't think I've once had chicken. I ate a few bites of turkey at Thanksgiving, which I think was a mistake, because I'm pretty sure my father usually injects the turkey with stuff, and it seemed like it made me ill. But I don't think it was the poultry. I think it was what was done to it. And so I think chicken stock sounds wonderful. I probably should try some one of these days soon, because that really does sound nice. That sounds great right now. Huh. So, and Oh, and Jackie says she's using turkey. Yeah, and she says beef stock is doable too. Yeah, no, for sure. I haven't for a while, but of course I've made quite a few bone broths over the years here, and on top of that I've often cooked ribs or whatever, and then I'd make some beef stock, usually shortly after. I find that the beef stock doesn't appeal to me that much. I mean, I enjoy it, but like the beef, you know how it is, it gets all stringy and kind of dried out in the water. It's so weird, but you know what I mean. And while I don't really enjoy that with beef, I do enjoy that with chicken. So not that I don't like beef stock, I do. I just always find, like, I stopped making bone broth because I was like, yeah, just eat some beef. I don't need it in different forms. But for some reason, chicken stock sounds, I think it's just that. It's just because it's chicken soup. It's just that warms the soul, right? So anyways, there's that. And that reminded me, I just talked about it, but you guys, my 4-year carniversary is coming up. I think, is it going to be the next episode? Today's the 17th. I have a calendar right there. I can look at it. No, it's about it's 3 weeks away. Oh, and it's to the day because it's on the 7th, which the 7th is a Sunday this year, which it was the 7th when I started. Does it do that every 4 years? I have no idea. But that'll be 4 years. So I'm 1 month away today. I'm 3 years and 11 months today. So in 3 weeks from now, in 3 weeks from now I will have my 4-year carniversary, and I'm thrilled, you guys. I couldn't be, I've talked about it so many times, but finding this way of eating has really given me my life back, in my opinion. And while it might not seem like it from the outside world, I'm just staying in my little shack and not really doing anything, my health is so much better. My mental health is so much better, despite me talking about this week being kind of a bummer. It's nothing. I mean, it's nothing compared to the way I used to be, like, just covered in a dark cloud. So I am so excited to get to that 4-year point and kind of, look back, and I'm just happy to be where I am, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it feels great, doesn't it, Jackie? Jackie says it's life. Yeah, I'm living, and while everything else has sort of conspired to, to make it, my life has been sort of compressed for this year into just sort of a small space and not much variance. I do feel super alive, and I feel healthy, you guys. And while my fitness is actually pretty good right now, I'm strong. I've talked about my cardio being poor. I have been getting on my bike. I've been doing a pretty good job of that. Not as good as I'd like, but I have been regular, getting on it a few times a week, and I'm getting my cardio back, although slowly. But I feel more capable physically now than I did 6 years ago by a long ways. And so I'm really looking forward to, I'm not going to make any bones about it. I'm 51 now. There isn't a whole lot of time left in the grand scheme of things for me to be a surfer or whatever it is. There's quite a few guys who are 80 years old out there in the water and everything else, and I hope to be one of them. But it's going to change here at some point, and I'm aware of that. I'm not being negative. I just am trying to make hay while the sun shines, as it were. And so I'm so thankful for Zero Carb that I've been able to put this body back together. I was in a pretty bad shape 6 years ago or whatever, and I'm really looking forward to kind of the end of this lockdown, as it were, and like I said, financially being a little more capable of doing stuff. And these things are coming for me. This isn't a pipe dream. This me buckling down here is getting me there. And yeah, man, I'm optimistic as heck. And Jackie says it makes everything else easier to handle because you have a part of you, because you have the part you must have to live under strong control. That's exactly right, Jackie. I didn't have diet and health under control before. I didn't have my illness, whatever this is, condition. It's so funny. I don't feel sick, but I know everyone else doesn't squirt yellow water out of their butt every 2 hours all week. I know that I have something that I'm dealing with, but like you said, Jackie, I've figured out how to manage it and handle it, and it feels great. And Jackie says youngster, and yeah, man, I know I'm so fortunate. I apologize if that came off as I don't feel old. I don't feel like the clock's running out or anything. I just know I want to do some stuff, so I'm not gonna put off things, as it were, especially things that require me to be kind of brave and aggressive and whatever. I do notice. I will talk about aging a little bit. I'm much more timid than I used to be. My mom will appreciate that, because I don't think I've ever been timid in any way when it comes to things like my own safety with surfing. I tend to surf alone almost all the time, and usually in freezing cold, scary, isolated places, and I just never felt scared about them. But I am starting to, and so it kind of concerns me, actually, because I want to be able to keep doing this stuff. So, and I don't like pushing my comfort level. I'm not one of those people. It's funny because I have been a risk taker all my life, and I think there's probably people who look at me and go, "Oh yeah, you're not scared of anything," but that's not true. It's just that I don't feel scared in those situations. My threshold is different, but when I cross that threshold, I'm a baby, and I'm starting to recognize that. And so I don't know where this is going, other than just to say that I got some things I want to do, and I'm gonna do them while I can. So Jackie said, without our fuel, nutrition under control, the rest just unravels. And Jackie says she's just having fun with me because she's a little older. So thanks, Jackie. And she says, maybe you are more timid now because you know you have life to live without all that food chaos. And Jackie, that's actually really, really, really astute, because as a young man, I never saw myself with a long future. I always knew there was something fundamentally wrong with me, like medically, and it's funny when I say that, but I never pinned it down to anything. I knew that my bathroom habits were a problem. I knew that my brain was messed up, like with depression, but I didn't, none of those things were related in my mind. None of them were bad enough to be like, this is your issue, fix that and you're all good. I never knew what it was, but I didn't feel like I was long for the world. I always felt that way, and I do think that's part of maybe why I push people away a lot, and I used to take enormous risks. I just didn't care. When I was 20, I was reckless. Really reckless. And yeah, I think you're right. I think a big part of it is being optimistic and being excited about the future. Oh, it's kind of choking me up. That's a really astute observation, Jackie. That's a really astute observation. She says you knew you wouldn't live long with that food chaos and nothing was helping, and that's exactly right. And I was pretty miserable, to be honest. I pretended like I wasn't, but I was always sick. I was always sick. I would wake up in the morning and I would get stuck to the toilet. And if I ate food, then it'd be worse. I couldn't eat breakfast. And I knew that. I identified it. I never thought of it as a bad thing. I was just like, oh yeah, just don't eat till lunch. Or most work days, I actually just wouldn't even eat until I got home. And, I remember my dear friend Corey, who I did so much work for, would always be like, oh yeah, you want to go to lunch? I'll take you to lunch. No, you don't eat lunch, and I never really understood it. I kind of knew it was because of my guts, but I didn't, and I used to wonder. I remember I've talked about this, but I remember being 18 with my first job in the city, driving in my Volkswagen bus with my cup of coffee, trying to get to work, and, having an accident in my pants or having to pull over and being like, how? Look at all these people in their cars. How do they make it to work? I just didn't understand. So yeah, I am so much better than I ever was. And I think you're exactly right, Jackie, that's playing deeply into my psyche and my mental, just everything. And I now do have longer term views, and that actually goes back to, when I was thinking I wanted to get married and stuff a few years ago, and all that. I never felt that before, and I think that was a big part of that. So yeah, it feels amazing. And thanks for being here, Jackie. And she says, isn't it wonderful how resilient the body is? You fixed yourself up by not giving up. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So, look, you're making me cry. Yeah. All right. Having a moment here, sharing it with you guys. Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate you. Oh, I'm ridiculous. Okay, enough of that. Alrighty. Hey, Mode. How you doing, man? Yeah, no, I'm doing good. These are, yeah, these tears are fine. I am doing good. No, I really am. So optimistic about all that stuff we just talked about. So, excuse me. I'm so glad. I'm so thankful for you guys. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. It means so much to me to have all of your support. It's just... you guys know I'm emotional. So, Mo, nice to see you. 11:20 p.m. in Malaysia. Oh, that's wonderful to hear, Mo. I was always wondering where you were. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for being here. And I'm glad to hear you're doing well. And I'm doing great. And Jackie, thank you for that convo. That's really, really important. I am so optimistic. And I am so much better than I was. And that's what those tears were about. Was just about all that time I spent kind of thinking I had no future. So, yeah. And Jackie says my prediction is spot on. The sunrise is gonna be amazing over there today. Yeah, I thought so, Jackie. I'm now coming into the fog here, but that usually means that it's clear and cold above, and so yeah, I think it's gonna be a gorgeous day out there. And yeah, you guys, that little moment there was definitely just about all those years I spent kind of feeling like I didn't have much future and really not thinking about the future. I never set goals. I mean, that's not true. I would have sort of like short-term goals, but yeah, this is different, and I'm so excited. And again, I'm feeling, other than this stuff I've been having going on this week, I've been feeling really good and really strong. And I actually worked out really hard this week, and I got some PRs in my pull-ups. And yeah, it's been a pretty darn good week for the most part. I made some changes this week to try to remove some negative stuff from my life and stay positive. I did notice this week that I was definitely kind of like being a little more negative, as I talked about earlier, and so I've been kind of like tightening things up a little bit. And like I said, I'm super excited about the future. So hopefully we'll come back next week and I'm going to be telling you all the opposite stuff, because you guys know how this stuff goes. It changes so fast. And I'm fortunate in that I, at least since I started Zero Carb, I've been so positive for the most part. And I stay upbeat pretty much all the time. But it's okay to be down a little bit now and then. And it happens so rarely for me these days. I'm so thankful for that. So there's that. So okay, guys, I think that's probably enough. I I don't have much else to say. So I guess I'll probably just leave it there, and I guess we'll just leave it there. Yeah, leave it there, and come back next week and do it again. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And I hope that you have a great day. And Jackie says, let's all have a great day. And yeah, Jackie, I'm going to have a fantastic day. I don't have much in mind today. Hopefully a bike ride. My football team lost and they're out. So I'll probably watch some football, but I don't care that much anymore. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a great week, to be honest with you. Actually, I'm so optimistic about this week and everything coming, around the corner for all of us. That I think we're headed in a great direction. So yeah, so thanks so much for your support. And no worries about the Hawks, Jackie. I'm not that big of a football fan. I just watch it to bide the time. I mean, I love the Hawks. When I was a little kid, I remember chasing the police officers around trying to get free trading cards from them back in 1978 or whatever. But I loved them as a kid, and they're always going to be my team, but I'm not really one of those sports guys who I don't get too worked up either way. So no big deal there. They're sort of just a distraction, as it were. But yeah, it would be nice if they were still playing, but whatever. So, and Jackie's a Hawks fan too, so that's great. Yeah, it's going to be better next year for sure. I agree. I'm really looking forward to next year for a lot of things, so I think we all probably are. So, okay, you guys, that's enough for today. I'm going to wrap it up. I want to say, Jackie, I'm going to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to everybody for all your kind comments. Everyone watching, everyone listening, thank you so much. Do be aware I'm going to make a sort of cheesy sales pitch video for this, probably real quick here, if I can get my eyes cleared up. So I'll have that up on the channel probably in a short while. It's probably not going to be terribly exciting, but I'm just going to kind of make people aware of that micronutrient test because I'm excited about it. So I'm going to do an actual video for that here soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And if anyone would like to test their blood, please do. It helps me a ton. So there's that. So okay, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous day. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'm going to do my best to make a ton of progress this week. I'm going to stay positive and move towards my goals. And maybe in a few weeks, I'm going to tell you what my big goal is. Maybe I'll even make a step towards it. We'll see. There are some first steps that I've got sort of on a calendar. I'm not a calendar. I don't have a date for them, but time, like a progression timeline, and we'll see how it goes. So, and Jackie's says she would like to do some testing soon after 1 year carnivore. So I'm really looking forward to that. So, and I'll share my results with you too, because I'm really curious to see what those numbers look like. So yeah, stay tuned for that stuff. So yeah, Jackie, I will tell you my goals. So Mode, thanks for being here. You have a great day or evening. Hope you have a great night and sleep well, and we'll see you guys next week. So if there's anything specific, you guys, I always feel like I just sit here and ramble about me, which I guess is what I'm gonna do. But if I can help you at all, Mode, if you're here, if you have any questions, by all means, I'd love to be any more help if I can. But I know that at this point, I'm probably just still alive after 4 years is probably good enough. And yeah, Jackie, I'm good at rambling. I am. Only in the mornings. That's why I do this thing right when I wake up, because if I do this in the afternoon, I'm just clam up. all of my boundaries and protections kind of come into play, and I clam up. But right now, you guys get me like wide open and raw and fresh, so didn't have time to put my mental armor on. So I'm just gonna ramble at you. So okay, now I'm actually gonna say goodbye. So I'm gonna hit the outgoing video. Thank you guys. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.